Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I'm kind of craving pizza tonight. It's Friday night. You know how it goes. Usually I have to choose it's a choice between pizza, wings, and Mexican with cheese dip and a margarita. I'm kind of feeling pizza tonight, so we shall see. Haven't decided yet. Okay. I got a lot of stuff, a lot of fascinating stuff today, so here we go. This one's from ECOSSEXRP1 sent me this. Actually, he had sent me this tweet. Now, this is a tweet from one of the most anti-Ripple, anti-XRP people that I have ever seen on Twitter. This guy has bashed Ripple and XRP, and still he's not totally backing off, but he tweets this out. XRP Army, congrats on this. Seriously, Bitso CEO Daniel details how XRP is actually being used to catch a piece of the $35 billion a year remittance flow between the U.S. and Mexico. And then I tweeted this out. It takes some a while to put their pride aside and admit the obvious, but they will all eventually acknowledge the truth. XRP is the greatest digital asset ever created, and Ripple is the greatest digital asset team ever assembled. Totally true. But you just need to understand, this guy is a guy who, for the last 2 years that I've been watching on Twitter, has been like the guy that's saying banks will never use XRP and all that kind of talk. And a total change of tune. Not only that, but this guy retweeted my tweet. And didn't make like some smart aleck comment, but retweeted my tweet. His name's Ryan Selkis. So, and I don't know if he was just being a smart aleck or what, but the fact is, he at least halfway acknowledged that, okay, I got to give it to you. It's being used, and that is huge. I mean, a lot of you may not know just how nasty a lot of these people have been over the last 2 years, but they have. Even Brad Garlinghouse at times has had to come out and fight with them a little bit. PolySign. Now, we talked about PolySign yesterday, and I had pointed this out I've pointed it out on the channel, but I've pointed it out in tweets that PolySign, their custody solution is they've designed it to scale to trillions under management. Well, I tweeted this out yesterday, and many of you aren't on Twitter, so I wanted to read it to you. According to and this was yesterday. According to CoinMarketCap, the total market cap today is $256 billion. According to PolySign, one custody company, their custody product is designed to scale to trillions of dollars under management. Why does one custody company need to be able to scale to trillions of dollars? The answer to that question should be very obvious, but I'll say it. It has to scale to one company has to scale to trillions of dollars in digital asset custody, because that one company knows that there's going to be mega trillions of dollars in the digital asset space, not 256 billion. It's as simple as that. I've been saying it for over a year and a half now. It's going to happen. Go ahead and get used to it, folks. It's going to happen. Okay. Now, when I was looking around YouTube this morning, and you've heard me joke around about, a lot of times I'll say PolySign and I'll whisper it because no, PolySign doesn't say anything, and it's like graveyard talk. Nobody talks about PolySign. And this guy right here, Mario Bozic, who I'm going to give him a subscribe just because he's got 2, and you're going to give him more, I hope. This guy, I didn't realize it, but he had a video where he's done nothing but taken my voice and done PolySign whispers. Listen to this. So he gets a mention because he made me laugh this morning. So from now on, whenever I talk about PolySign, I'm going to play this first. So I subscribed to it. All right. Then Ripple tweeted this out yesterday. As institutional grade infrastructure continues to be built, the real world problems are increasingly solved using digital assets like XRP. The tipping point to critical mass adoption is constantly moving closer. Read more from Bree Madigan. Okay, so here's the article. The sun, and folks, I'm going to say something here in a second that might be controversial, but I'm going to say it anyway. The sign of a stabilizing market, XRP utility. Now, why is Ripple coming out and saying the sign of a stabilizing market? There's one thing that I've been seeing a lot of, and in the central bank world and in the media, and what I'm seeing a lot of is that, and don't quote me, but the gist of what I'm seeing is, well, the only legitimate, besides, you got Bitcoin over here, that's going to be a store of value. But I'm seeing another thing which is kind of saying, well, the only legitimate digital assets are going to be the stable digital assets. Well, so Ripple now puts this out, the sign of a stabilizing market. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't want a stabilizing market. I want a market to go ape to the upside. But this article right here makes kind of this is one of the things that I've been hearing a lot behind the scenes, is the idea of a price set, an XRP price set to a higher level, like a potential price set. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not saying I think it. I'm just saying I've heard this idea floated around Twitter, YouTube. I've heard it. I've heard it even off of those things. I've heard it. Okay. I saw this article this morning and it immediately made me think about this type of thing. It says, at the 2020 World Economic Forum, Secretary of the Treasury Steve Mnuchin referenced this progress. He spoke about the impact of digital assets. There are benefits to cross-border payment systems and lowering costs for consumers and businesses. We absolutely support companies working on this. And then it says down here, I think right here, taken together, increased utility of digital assets and cross-border payments and the introduction of derivative trading are all contributing to a more liquid and stable market for digital assets than ever before, with no sign of slowing down. So I get a distinct impression that it's being sold, the idea of XRP and digital assets becoming more stable. Okay? Now, this is what Ray Dalio had to say. Listen to the first couple of minutes of this. This is what he had to say when he was in Davos. Ray Dalio, for those of you that don't know, is Bridgewater Associates, the largest hedge fund in the world.
On Friday, and suggested right now that you have to be in the market full on. And so the question is whether everybody jumps on the train, everybody gets in full on, and then the problem arises that you're talking about.
Likely.
But then the question is, when do you jump off the train?
But also the question is, what do you jump into when you jump off the train? And the issue is, you can't jump into cash. Cash is trash, okay? Cash is that they're going to, because they're going to print money. What do? You get out, okay? So cash is not going to be
So what
good.
do you do?
So what you have to do is, you have to have a well-diversified portfolio. And first of all, you have to be global, and you have to have balance. And I think, I don't want to grab, well, the headline's going to be, again, anyway, is I think that you have to have a certain amount of gold in your portfolio, or you have to have something that's hard. There are three monetary systems that happen. The first is, in the old days, it had intrinsic value. You'd carry around gold coins. Then we come up with the idea of banks or even central banks. And what they do is they create certificates, we call notes, that are claims on those things. And we print many more certificates than there is money in the bank. And then that's a linked system. And we did that, and we broke that in 1971. Then you have a fiat monetary system, which means that you can print whatever amount of money you want. And you can put that, and that's what governments do. So we're in that part of the cycle, bigger picture, so that when you think about things, the depreciation of the exchange rate and the printing of money, I think over the next few years is going to be the biggest.
If you want to buy gold, you buy Bitcoin?
No, here's there are two purposes of money: a medium of exchange and a storehold of wealth. And Bitcoin is not effective in either of those cases now.
Store of wealth?
Store of no, because first
potentially.
Of all, it's too volatile because of.
I just wanted to get you to that point. It's too volatile. So in essence, these lords of finance, they do not see these things that are too volatile I'm not saying that I think there will be some kind of XRP price set, but what I am saying is if you piece all of this together, I don't think anybody at Ripple, I don't think they came to the party for XRP to be priced low. I don't think anybody came to the party. I don't think the central banks of the world came to the party for that reason. And so you do have to wonder, because they all seem to only respect what is stable, but stable on their terms. Okay, now I want to show you this. This is I Am Legion, okay? I Am Legion has a whole long thread, but he shows this, he copied me on this, and this guy provides so much good information. But the point, I want you to go through his thread. I mean, the guy, he like is so thorough. I don't know how he does it. But he had put this up. This is from one of my videos yesterday where we were looking at C-SPAN and we were looking at this hearing on mobile payment technology that they were having in Congress. There are several. We showed one or two video clips yesterday. I'm going to show one of them again just because it never hurts. And then there's some extra ones that I want you to see. And I also want you to see some body language. And I get not only do I get the distinct vibe about this word stable right now, but I'm also getting the distinct vibe that a lot of these Congress people and a lot of these people, some of them not, but they don't just know. Some of them are starting to be comfortable talking about it, and some of them are still uncomfortable. And I'll show you. Watch this. This is from the crypto utility guy. Okay, here's the first one.
Supervise that there aren't clear rules of the road. And so the promise of cryptocurrency in many ways has been lost. And so there are any number of needs, not the least of which is to fold them into payments law in a more rational way and to rationalize payments law overall.
All right. Well, and as defined by you or someone else, what is rational? I'm seriously, it's your definition of what's rational, because there's a whole environment out there of brilliant, genius young people who are coming up with new ways to transfer value every single day, and I worry that we're going to crush that entrepreneurial spirit and that advancement. Obviously, you and I, we've heard of Bitcoin, we've heard of Ethereum. You familiar with XRP and the efforts of Ripple?
With the distributed ledger technology for their payments?
Yep.
Yes.
And you're familiar with EOS?
No.
What about privacy coins like Monero or Zcash?
So I had a footnote that if I understood the aim of this hearing, that it was that I was not going to approach the privacy concerns. There are any number of different privacy technologies around cryptocurrencies. Some are concerning, some are very promising, and that it really is very item specific. So supervise.
For some reason, she didn't want to talk about the privacy coins. But anyway, he obviously mentions Ripple and XRP there. They all know. They always have known. And here's the deal. Now, this is an interesting clip from the same guy, Tom Emmer.
We can't see all the things out on the horizon. We have to make sure we're very careful. And this institution in particular has to start moving a little quicker with the certainty questions that we talked about in the marketplace. Because at the end of the day, that is where we're going. And I think people need to be very clear. We can either help facilitate this technology advancement, or it's going to happen without us. And God forbid it happens somewhere else where we don't have any say.
Okay. And that's from X Lighting the Way, by the way. Now, here, XRP Crypto Wolf, this is all the same thing still. Excuse me. PayPal executive says Federal Reserve System needs fundamental change. I think you already are seeing some blockchain systems that enable the movement of money. I think there are examples out there. We talked about XRP or others that kind of offer like this. Now, here's the video. Whoops, I had a little technology problem, so I had to go in and clip that part of the video. and redo this part. So here we go. Something went out on my mic. Imagine technology problems on this channel. So this was from XRP Thor, and he's asking Ham and Eggs. And for those of you that don't know who Ham and Eggs is, Sam I Am on Twitter. He's a definite follow. Also has a YouTube channel, To the Lifeboats. Definite subscribe. But he occasionally, Sam I Am does these videos where he analyzes people's body language. So I want you to watch this guy's body language, and this guy right here, Mr. Hills, the congressman. Watch his body language when the PayPal guy mentions XRP. Watch what he does.
Comment on that?
I would just note that.
Let me see if I can get it to this part.
For the kind of core banking architecture, I think there would probably be some changes needed in terms of the Federal Reserve System. But for, smaller valuation or smaller amount payments, I think you already are seeing some blockchain-based systems being created that enable the movement of money. So I think there are examples out there. We talk about XRP or others that...
His eyes go down. Right when he said XRP, the guy looks down like, oh, don't say that. I thought that was a classic. Okay, and we're not finished with this committee yet. I think there's one other, let's see. Yeah, this is the last thing here I wanted to mention, is from XRP Crypto Wolf. U.S. Congressman and Finance Committee Representative French Hill was confident when he said, and this is a person that was walking out of the hearing is the way this article says, a payment system that has a regulatory rail with blockchain that's open to banking companies and non-banking companies to offer a payment alternative is where we're headed. So they know exactly where this is all going, folks. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that the Congress knows exactly where this is all going. Thank you for listening.